Nice meeting you.
I'm gonna see what this text say, and if it's
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Hey man, this is gonna be a great show for y'all tonight. I'm sacrificing something very important. So we're gonna have an amazing show, and this is what we're doing tonight. And Freddie, if you're watching, I hate you. But welcome to Fast Break. This is the show about all NBA topics. We got our man, our boy. To my right is Aaron. Aaron, welcome to the show, brother. It's amazing having you. I know you've been around at ASAP Network. We've been trying to get you on for a very long time. It's an honor having you, bro. He might be moderating tonight because I don't know the topics. Jonathan don't know the topics, and I don't think anybody else know the topics. So, rookie of the year, the floor is yours. Talk to everybody real quick. Where can we find Aaron's podcast or anything you got going on, bro?
Yeah, so right now I got a podcast. It's called The Gridiron Guide. We talk about fantasy football. We do a gambling show. It's all fun. We do it live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. You just search Gridiron Guide. You can find us on all the socials and anywhere you listen to podcasts. So that's where you find me at.
All right, Aaron. All right. I guess we're going to talk about everybody else now. Will, I already know how you be rocking. How's your day going?
Good, man. Good, man. Good to be here. How you doing, fellas? How you doing?
Not great. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing better now that I know we got a moderator.
yeah. LaDonna, it's great to see you in the comments. It's always lovely to have you. Nate,
how you doing, LaDonna?
How's your day going?
It's
great.
Ups and downs. Let's just say that. But
damn.
This might be the fastest fast break ever.
We doing it. We running it. And you know what?
In the history, because my computer's gonna die.
I'm still a sacrifice. Oh, and your computer gonna. I'm gonna kill somebody. But listen,
you better find that plug
right now. As I read the topics, because I'm trying to go as I go along. We got a matchup right now. What would you guys? We already talked about it. We're gonna run it back one more time, and hopefully nothing happens to where we have to recreate it because it happens to the best of us. We were talking about it about 5 minutes ago. Let's run it back one more time on everybody's picks. We got in the playoffs the most interesting matchup as of right now, 2021-2022, as these teams are listed. No ands, ifs, or buts. Not if the Knicks get Kyrie. Not if Giannis requests a trade. Everything as it is right now. Who would you rather watch in the playoffs? The Charlotte Hornets versus the Miami Heat, or would you rather watch the Chicago Bulls versus the Chicago Bulls 2.0 in the New York Knicks? I'm going to let the floor go with Aaron first. New blood on a team. Aaron, where are you rocking with?
So I'm rocking with Miami Heat versus the Charlotte Hornets, just based off the fact that I think the Heat are a dark horse NBA championship contender, right, and that the Hornets are up-and-coming team. Underrated team. People still underrate them. They don't think they're that good, but they're surprising people this year early on. Right. So,
and we talked about it earlier, and you did check me, Aaron. I'll give you that. You did check me. My disrespect on Miles Bridges was real. But we also talked about when you look at that defensive presence that they added with PJ Tucker, Morris, and even bringing in Kyle Lowry. This team already went to the finals, but they don't know nothing about winners. You add a bunch of winners. Do you think that might be a problem for the Gordon Haywards, for the Miles Bridges, and LaMelo Ball, who got beat by Washington Wizards in the playoffs last year and didn't seem to come over adversity? How do you see that matching up?
Yeah, so I'm obviously Miami's gonna always bring the defense. They bring the defense every time they're in the playoffs. Doesn't matter if it was LeBron, D Wade, Bosh, or if it's this group of players. I just see them. I just see the youth of the Hornets being a problem. You know what I mean? You got a lot of older players on the Miami Heat. The younger players are Duncan Robinson, who can't play defense, and then you got Tyler Hero, who can't play defense. Oh, dang. That's funny.
I'm clowning right now. Where's your charger, Jonathan?
I definitely hear where you're coming from with the defensive problem.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think the Heat will win this series, but I'll be very shocked if they lose the series. But I think it'll be a very entertaining series watching the youth versus old. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think though, really quick before we go into Will, do you think that, the problem with me and the problem I've been watching LaMelo Ball since high school, the Chino Hills days, and
Yeah,
the
same.
problem I've always been seeing is his leadership when things get tough. We've seen it a lot. If you watch it at the Ball in the Family show on Facebook, you see LeVar getting red in the face. Lonzo always stepped up. Jello made stupid mistakes, but he was that guy when it came down to the game. Not
Yeah.
so much shopping decisions, but he came down to it when it came down to the game. Now, LaMelo was one of those guys who would kind of, nod off while he was making speeches, or be that guy that's kind of absent-minded when things are getting tough. He's kind of not there. That's why I like, we talked about earlier, Ja Morant versus Melo. I take Ja just because of that mentality. But I love LaMelo's talent by far. But do you think that LaMelo is there for a leadership standpoint after getting bounced in the play-in last year against Washington?
The play-in, yep.
Do you think he's there mentally to handle a Miami Heat physical team like that?
So LaMelo's
from that.
What was that, Jonathan?
You can only grow from that.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say, don't read into the reality TV too much. But also LaMelo's not really a vocal leader. He's never been that. He's not that. Right. He's not that leader. He's one of those guys that lead by example, and the leadership is going to come for him. As it gets more in the NBA.
Right.
You got, like I said, you got guys like Gordon Hayward. That's their leader. I don't think Gordon Hayward played in the playing game last year. I couldn't remember.
I think he did.
Yeah, I don't remember. But also Miles Bridges. It doesn't matter. But I don't think that I said. I don't think they looked at him as a vocal leader. I think it's Hayward who's a leader, and then you got. Again, Miles Bridges is somebody that LaMelo looks up to as well. So they have a pretty good relationship. So I think as the season goes on, you're going to see LaMelo play even better and make better decisions. He's already starting to make better shot making decisions than he did last year.
Right.
You can already see him shooting better. So, but like I said, I think they're getting bounced out of the first round by Miami Heat because I think they're gonna definitely face Miami in the playoffs.
I think it's a fair loss too. I think that's a fair loss. I wouldn't be beating myself up over it. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it's not like you're losing to the Washington Wizards again. Is a perfect example.
Right.
You got bounced.
Right.
That's a problem. Now, Will, what do you have? Will, my Chicago Bulls friend.
You know what? You know where I'm going. Just because of the history between the two franchises, Bulls Knicks. Just because of the history of the two franchises, Thibodeau knowing what's going on, Billy Donovan being over there, this new rebuilt Bulls team, they built something special. The Knicks are up there with Julius Randle and company. That's the matchup that I want to see. Look, the way the Bulls are playing right now, they're playing some good basketball. They're playing together. They're playing good defense. The Knicks can come up at any time and take a game when they need it. I want to see that series. There's going to be one of those knockdown, drag out between two dogs go at it, and that's what I want to see. That Heat matchup, that Heat matchup going in 5-1, 4-1, 4-2. Nah, man, I gotta go with both Knicks.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, Jonathan, where do you stand on this?
Man, I'm going with the more compelling matchup, something that we haven't seen that much in the playoffs, and you guys kind of know where I'm going. I'm going with the Heat and the Hornets. I just like this matchup. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. You have a great Heat defense, and then you have a great Charlotte offense. Coming into the season, they had a high ranked offense, and the Heat has a great defense, and the Heat, they got guys that can score off the bench. They have a pretty deep bench, led by Tyler Hero, who can very much be the next sixth man of the year.
Definitely.
Given how the way he has performed lately to start the season. And then, of course, you have Duncan Robinson, who can knock it down from beyond the arc. So, I mean, you got guys that can score. And then don't forget about Jimmy Butler, who is a fierce competitor, a guy who likes to win. He has that winning mentality, and he's going to do everything he can to lead this team back to the NBA Finals. Then you have Bam Adebayo. But I think when you look at this Hornets team, they're a young team. They have a lot of poise. I
Right.
think they've grown tremendously from last year, so
Right.
they'll be a much better team this year. However, I do think that series will be no more than 6 games. I think it'll go 6 or 5. I do not think it'll be a sweep, but I
Right.
do think it'll be. You know how you have those short series, but you still
It's
each
still
game is
close.
still close and very
Mhm.
entertaining. I think this series can be like that. Like that.
Right. Nate, where do you stand on it?
I'm going with whichever series that I think is going to last longer. And that for me, I think that based off of how things have been going lately, and I know it's a small sample size, I get
Right.
that. I have to go with Nick's Bulls.
Yes, sir. Nate, talk
I'm
to him.
going with
Appreciate
Nick's
the
Yes, sir. Talk
Bulls
to him.
because
Talk your stuff.
because you're talking about. I get it. Hornets are a young team. It's been said a lot throughout y'all's takes. I know they plan to play in game, but they really haven't had a 7. Like a lot of those young players haven't had a 7 game or 4 game or through 7 game
Right.
playoff
I would say
experience.
Gordon. Gordon's really the only guy in here.
Gordon's
Yeah.
the only one guy that has happened. Is Chris Robinson just popped on the screen.
My brother.
So I don't think, as much as some people might find that intriguing,
Right.
I really don't think it's going to. If Heat Hornets went up and faced each other in the playoffs, I really do not see that. I don't see it going past 5 games.
That was my point. Before we let Chris go, we can tie him into what the conversation was. The conversation was basically, I know you know the topics, but just to remember, it was, what would you rather see in the playoffs as of right now, as the team is constructed? Would you rather have it Bulls right now versus the New York Knicks? Would you rather have the Charlotte Hornets versus the Miami Heat? And in a lot of people's case, we have Aaron saying the Heat, we have Jonathan saying the Heat, Will and Nate say the Bulls. I agree with the Bulls for different reasons. Being from Chicago, Northwest Side, I've been rocking with my whole life. 22 years old, grew up on D Rose, Tibbs, and Taj, and Noah, and Dang, and all of them. So for me, it's a personal love, and I also think the matchup is better. I agree with Nate. I love LaMelo. Like I said, been a fan of LaMelo since high school. But if it's that matchup specifically, I think it goes 4 or 5 games. And I love LaMelo. I just think this team is a team full of champions and a team full of great defenders on the Miami Heat side. They've been to the finals. The guys they added also went to the finals. The only difference is they won the finals. So you have championship caliber experience now on the floor, not just in your front office. With the Bulls, not only do you have Zach LaVine, Lonzo, not Pat, sorry, that broke my heart to say. Williams is out for the rest of the season. DeMar DeRozan, who's bucketing 25 points per game right now, had 37 last night. What an amazing game. I haven't been checking the stats if they won tonight or not. I'm not going to, because it'll break my heart if they lost twice to the Philly. But it's definitely a situation. I look at it right now. You look at Tibbs, Rose, and Taj versus the new era Bulls. That is a matchup for the century. And when you already saw that first game they played against each other in the Chicago, I was at the game on Joakim Noah night. That atmosphere, it reminds you so much of those Rose versus Melo days, that Ewing versus Jordan, that it's that atmosphere you want. It's that great type of chemistry. It's that great type of just overall fan bases that you want to see. Charlotte, bro, the only Charlotte Hornets fan I know is Ray. I'm going to be real. The only Charlotte Hornets fan I know is Ray. He's on the network. I never met one prior to that. Shout out to Ray, very loyal fan. He's been waiting for this day. But I definitely think at the end of the day, I'd pick the Bulls. Chris, where do you stand?
100% agree with everything you just said, Mike. Simply for that reason alone, of just the potential, like the history there. Derrick Rose, MVP in Chicago. I mean, hell, if he goes if in the playoffs, he may even get MVP chance during the game.
He gets him now. He gets
exactly.
He got him that night. I lost my voice screaming that man MVP.
Even in the playoffs, man, like he's gonna get his respect.
Right. That's my dog. That's my dog for life.
It'd be a better series. That's easily a 7-game series.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think
like Nate just said. I mean, if we
I don't think that's a 7-game series. I'm keep it real with you.
Really?
I
No.
think it's a 7-game series. And Aaron, tell me if I'm wrong. I say it's a 7-game series because as constructed right now, the Bulls are not big enough to rebound the way they want to.
Exactly. They don't have the size.
I would say if you like offense, that series in the playoffs is not going to look pretty.
No, not at all. But I mean, look
Um,
at it from this perspective, bro.
over it, though.
Is it going to look pretty on the Hornets side of things when the Miami Heat are defensively clamping them up the whole game?
Miami Heat goes
just
to
to
person not
say-
scoring too.
Yeah.
Just to say one thing about the New York Knicks real quick. I want to give a shout out to what happened today, actually. The New York Knicks just literally came back, trailing 38-19 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
and
they were down. They were down.
And
In Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee.
That's no easy feat.
Right. Then we got my brother doing the
113-98.
show.
The Knicks ended up winning. The Knicks
Yeah, they
ended
won.
Winning it. Yeah.
Coach Dante, if you didn't know the topic at hand right now, we're talking about it right now. It's who would you rather see in the playoffs, Bulls versus Knicks as currently constructed, or the Miami Heat versus the Charlotte Hornets? Who you got?
Oh, you talking about right now the Bulls versus
Yeah, like
who?
playoffs. If the playoffs were today and it was Bulls versus Knicks or Charlotte Hornets versus Miami Heat, what series you watching?
I'm gonna go Bulls versus Knicks. That's clearly gonna be a pretty much an entertaining series. I don't think the Charlotte and Miami Heat series. I don't think that's gonna be even a close series. I don't think that's gonna be a close series. The Heat just a little bit better, man. With Jimmy Butler, Adebayo can put you up 15 to 20 points. You got Jimmy Butler who can take out any offensive player that pretty much the Charlotte Hornets have pretty much. Right. Kyle Lowry is that vocal leader in the locker room. Duncan Robinson, hero. I mean, they even got that guy Screws who can come off the bench and also shoot it, man. And they got a great coach over there, Eric Spoelstra. Their defense will be too legit. That will probably be a 5-game series, but this will probably be a 6-game series to 7-game series between the Bulls and Knicks. I'm gonna have to take the Bulls in this series if it does happen. Probably in 6 games. DeMar DeRozan just got to show the hell up in the playoffs. He's a great regular season player, but he just doesn't show up in the playoffs when it matters. He just disappeared in the playoffs.
He shows up. He just doesn't show up against LeBron.
Nah, he
didn't show up in no series that he played. He didn't show up against no series that he played. So I mean, I just can't give it just because of LeBron. Yeah, San Antonio, they run. Go ahead.
Coach, I'm respecting the Christmas tree this early in November. I am respecting it. Yes, the drip.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate
now, it. A series that I would probably pay a lot of attention to on the East is actually the Nets and the Knicks. If season ended today, it would be Nets-Knicks because Nets are at the 4th seed right now.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be interesting, especially if Kyrie Irving. I mean, you got to think about it. Think about it like this: Kyrie Irving is not allowed to play in New York. If that series is Knicks versus Nets, he can't play at either home court.
Well, they're not letting them play right now anyway because they don't want part-time players.
You know, like if they really needed Kyrie to play, you still couldn't even have him play because it's not like you're going to Philly. It's not like you're going to Chicago.
And if we look at it, the net with James Harden not being James Harden because of the new rules.
The rules, that's
man.
Exactly.
And you know we'll
get on that later.
We're talking about that later. New rule. And I know I'm moderating, and I won't make Chris moderate, but this is his conversation. I'd like him to go into what specific rules he was talking about. The question though is, are you liking the new rules and the impact they have on the game right now, or is it hurting the game as a whole? Now, Chris, you can go in depth on what rules you're talking about because there were a lot added and there were a lot taken away. So you can go into that. Pop off.
I'm definitely just going to go off of what my boy William just said. I mean, you know, the refs are not calling fouls if what is it, like not a shooting
not
motion,
a basketball move.
Right. Yeah, like if you're jumping into the defender. I mean,
we've
seen Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people hate on Harden about it.
Trae Young,
exactly. Steph, Trae. I mean, yeah, Harden gets it, but like Harden's figured out a way around. He realizes he can at least drive, and he's gonna get some calls.
Harden can hoop.
Yeah.
But and I'll leave it like that though. For you guys, how do you guys think about it, Chris? Obviously, if you want to elaborate off of that, we can go with you, or we can go with William. It's up to you guys.
You go ahead, man. I'll jump in.
I'm liking everything that they're doing right now because it's keeping everybody honest. None of this bull None of this bull jiving going on the court. It's keeping everybody honest. I think the players who haven't been able to adapt as of yet, I think they will adapt sometime later on in the season to what the new rules are and be better players for it. So I'm liking everything that they're doing right now.
Yeah. How about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm liking everything they did for him right now too. I think it'll work for him, and it'll pay off in the long run for him. So I'm in total agreement with these guys on the panel.
Without a doubt. I'm in agreement as well. Just going to get me out of the way because no one gets a shit what the moderator has to say. Aaron, what do you think about it?
Yes, we do care.
Oh, they don't.
Well, I was going to say, I'm waiting for this new rule to come into effect, the transition foul rule. I'm waiting for that to come into effect.
Oh, yeah.
Elaborate on that one.
Yeah. Well, so pretty much if you watch the game the past couple years, let's say you grab the rebound and you try to toss
but then
the
you
ball
follow
up
them in the midst of fast break. Yeah,
they follow you in the midst of fast break. So it should be they should be to do the same thing with the clear path foul.
Yeah,
where you shoot 2 free throws, you get the ball. That's what they do in the Euro and the FIFA leagues or FIBA leagues.
Yeah,
they do that rule. So that's why that's why you see the Team USA had to adjust a little bit. So a lot of those players don't know those international rules as far as like fouling in the backcourt on a transition. So kind of like that hack and shack rule, stuff like that. Waiting for all those. I'm waiting for that transition foul rule to come into effect. I definitely like the shooting calls. As a high school basketball player, I definitely use those rules to my advantage. My going into the defender.
No doubt.
No doubt.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
I teach all my players to do it. When I coach like the 10-year-olds, so now I have to teach them the correct way now. The rules changing. So, oh yeah, for sure.
I respect that a lot too. That you did it, but now you see that you got to change it.
Oh yeah, you got to change it.
You got to adjust now.
Without a doubt. So Dante, how do you think about it?
I agree with everybody on the panel, man. Like I say, James Harden, by him being so aggressive on fast breaks and him can beat any player off the dribble, he's gonna get calls anyway. But I agree with anybody. I agree with everybody on this panel. I 1,000% agree with everybody. I think they done a great job, but about the rule he talking about on the fast break, I would like for them to change that because it freezes the game. It slows down the game a little bit. You shouldn't be able to foul a goddamn person on the goddamn fast break. That should be more like a clear path foul every time you do that. That just stops the game. Or a hack whatever it is. It just slows down the game. I just don't like that type of stuff there.
And it's also one of those things where, we're starting to notice games are flying. I've noticed a lot of games here that
exactly. I was just about to say that
2.5 hours long. They're like an hour 30. I'm like, damn,
less fouls. Less fouls. That's why.
Nate, are you
yes, I'm 100% agreeing with everybody here. I'm just gonna throw something out there as a joking matter. I'm not
go for it. Talk your shit. Go for it.
I wouldn't be able to tease the refs for not knowing what they're doing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's hard. It's hard, bro, because you look at it like that, and I understand you're a ref and you got to have the same playbook as all of us, but I mean, the league is switching up every year. And we hate on them and we talk a lot of crap. And as a former athlete, I hate every single one of y'all that ref. But it's definitely a situation where I wish you weren't there. Really. Like, you ruined the game. You ruined the game for me.
No love for the refs.
I was one of those hard-hitting dudes, bro. If I'm stealing home, I'm taking the catcher's head. If I see the wide receiver throw both of his arms up to catch the ball, I'm coming for your ribs. And these guys just keep coming at me, bro. And I'm traveling 90% of the time. I was hooping today. I'm traveling every single time because that's me. I'm 5'8" and white. I ain't dribbling like Steph. But next topic, and it does have something to do with being white. It to me, it has everything to do with being white. Nah, I know you made that face, Aaron, but Chris and I were talking about this in private. There's this comment that JJ Redick made.
Oh yeah,
Love. He made a comment about Kevin Love, and Chris knows the entirety of that conversation. I just kind of read a couple articles, but Chris, if you can go into the exact statement that he made, if you have that on you, and just elaborate on that.
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I know basically what the gist of it was that
it was Kevin Love.
Kevin Love would be considered like a top power forward.
No, he should be in the top 75 players.
Yeah, because he's like one of the greatest power forwards ever.
He said he was better than 99% of the power forwards on that list.
Nope.
And why I said it is a conversation about being white. It is the same reason why growing up, JJ Redick was a big part of me, because there's not a lot of white guys out there that you believe in, that you have to watch. And I personally, when I heard that, I said, well, I feel like you're really only saying that because that's your guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's just another guy who can hoop. I looked up to JJ. I looked up to Kevin. But in no way, shape, or form are those guys on the top 75 list. That's just my personal opinion.
My thing was Kevin. If you look at those teams in Minnesota that he played on, he really had no help.
Right. And that was the thing.
Yeah, he was great in Minnesota, but
Minnesota it was all him. But when he went to Cleveland to be the third man, that's when everything fell off the walls.
But what did he really do in Minnesota besides get points and rebounds?
Exactly. I'll give Kevin Love this though. He might be arguably one of the best outlet passers
without a doubt
has ever seen.
Without no question. No
That's
question.
facts. That's
no question.
No guys, and I kind of wanted to switch it up just a little bit. Do you see this being of more of okay, this is either just a close friend or is it something with
you said it. You said it.
I'm gonna say it again.
And I agreed with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You also said it in the same chat. JJ got a podcast to promote. So I'm thinking that's the biggest part of it. He just wants to deal with the fire,
I'm gonna go to Aaron.
He's been like Scottie Pippen. He's been like Scottie.
I'll go with Aaron first though, because I feel like Aaron didn't see where I was coming from, but I'd like to have a conversation about it.
All right, so I agree with you on the podcast part of it. Right. I don't think he's saying it just because they're both white players. I also think that he might believe it. I wouldn't have said 99% of the players. I do think Kevin Love should be on the top 75 list.
Bro. When you said 99, bro.
Yeah.
See, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to X out. You have to go back and X out guys.
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
But like he said, the 99% of power forwards. I mean,
that's
Tim Duncan.
Kevin Garnett,
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
Well, just look at the top. Just look at the top 75 players, and then look at the power forwards on there. I'll take Kevin McHale off and put Kevin Love on. Right. Because if you put Kevin Love in that,
I can't.
If you put Kevin Love in that same,
the only reason why I can't do it is because when you look at Kevin McHale, put him on that low block, he was an automatic two. Too. He rebounded. He rebounded. He blocked shots. Now, was he the outside shooter Kevin Love is? No. Is he the passer Kevin Love is? No. But overall, when you look at him as a player,
you had Larry Bird right there.
Yeah, you had Larry Bird right there. I mean, that's the one dude that I just can't never take off a list.
Right. And here's where I was coming from, Aaron. You got to look at it like this. Derrick Rose belongs on that list if you're looking at it from the perspective of, okay, at their greatest, who is the top 75? But that's not what the list is. And the reason I don't have Kevin on there is because that stint that is still going on currently in Cleveland, people forget he's even in the league right now. The problem is how many games has Kevin Love missed throughout his career with the Cleveland Cavaliers? It's over 100 at this point. That's the problem.
I would say this too. I have a problem with this list because they got Russell Westbrook on here.
Oh,
I got a problem. I got a problem.
Westbrook's gonna. He has to be.
Westbrook belongs.
Westbrook, Damian Lillard. They only be on that list.
Dame does not. To me is where they tweak.
I agree with Dame.
Dame was one of those guys, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, was more of he's in the now and he's relevant now. So we need to have some more relevant guys on the list.
But
I think Westbrook is just showing you how easy it is.
If you're gonna do that, but even if you do that, Dwight Howard deserves to be on the list. Look at his trajectory.
Champion. You were.
I agree.
Look at his trajectory.
You got to like this too. And I'm gonna say I'm biased. Will, you know I'm biased. Derrick Rose was the only MVP left off this list.
Exactly, and that's why I say Westbrook has to be on it because he does have MVP.
Damian Lillard over Derrick Rose in his prime?
I would say,
list.
Yeah.
I think the one thing, but I think the one thing that
a lot of it's done for shock value.
And I think one thing that hurts Derrick, I think one thing that hurts Dwight is the fact that they're still playing and they're not playing at the level they once were. And I think that's why they're not on that list.
But if you look at what Derrick is doing now, or what he has done since Minnesota time, Derrick is like changed his whole game around.
Oh, I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm not saying he hasn't.
No more.
And he's still Derrick's still making an impact too.
Oh, I'm not saying
making an impact on that Knicks team.
I'm not saying
he's still making an impact.
But he's not that Derrick Rose that was in Chicago that wanted that MVP. That's the difference. Right. That's the difference.
Now, you know what's screwed over Derrick Rose ever since that ankle injury, man? Once he went down with that ankle injury, he was never treated the same.
You can blame Tom. You can blame
Tom Thibodeau. They were up
enough for that.
14.
I'll tell you what.
They were up 14 with a minute to go. He didn't need to
I
stay in
would've
that
put-
Yeah, he
game.
shouldn't have been
I
playing.
would,
Right.
Yeah, he didn't
I
need
would-
to
I
stay in that
Here's
game
the
at all.
problem,
That game was over.
My personal opinion. Before we're not gonna get too off top about this Derrick Rose stuff, and I still want to hear what Nate has to say. But the Derrick Rose conversation, to me, Derrick always tears his ACL at some point throughout his career just because of his play style. Whether it was gonna happen.
Didn't he do it in
or not.
college? Didn't he do it in college?
He played
At
the same
Memphis?
way. He didn't do
It
it.
was Celtic. Okay.
He didn't do it in college.
Okay.
But he was a dog. He was a dog at Memphis.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
He was
We
balling.
His style
He was
He was balling.
Derek's body, and you got to think about his size. Derek's body, and I have the same type of body. I'm a very athletic individual, not NBA athletic, but I'm athletic. I'm 5'8", so I get a lot of muscle injuries because my body's not supposed to move the way it is. And when you're doing stuff like that and you're landing the way you are, that's what impacts that. Now, Chris, right now we're talking about just to recap with you. We're talking about JJ Redick making the conversation that Kevin Love is better than 99% of the power forwards listed on the top 5 or the top 75 NBA list. And right before we go to Chris, we're going to go to Nate. Nate, how do you feel about it?
I think we talked about this. I can't remember who it was a while back. I think that it's good that he has that mindset,
Right.
but I don't think that it was good that he basically bragged that out. If that makes sense.
Right. No, it's basically like, okay, I'm happy you have, this support for K-Love, but you shouldn't have said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, as for my personal opinion, I would probably put, out of all power forwards out there, I'd probably put him top 5, maybe.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like ball time?
I
can't go top 5. Kevin Love top 5.
I can't do that.
I can't do that either.
I can't
look at it, but
No, I can't put him. He's not top. I can't do
Bob
it.
right
I
now.
just can't do it.
Among power forwards, no.
If you want if you tell me top 20, I got you.
I got you.
Yeah, I'll put him up there, but top 5 now.
Yeah,
Chris,
I can't do it.
because there's Duncan, Barkley, Garnett, Dirk,
Garnett,
Chris Webber.
Dirk, Carmelo. Carmelo.
Hey, and we'll
Kevin
get
McHale.
Bron. You
Kevin
got
McHale.
Bron in the conversation at power forward, so you also
got who?
look at it like that. You got Bron.
Who? Brian, no,
You got
Brian's
Bron.
not powerful.
Bron a 3.
I put Bron top 5 out of everybody.
Bron a 3.
No,
Hey,
Brian. Yeah,
that boy
Brian
can
plays
play.
Bron's a 3. Yeah.
Bron is a small forward.
Yeah, he's a
What about
small
Dennis,
forward.
what about
He's
Dennis
a 3.
Rodman? I mean,
That's 'cause you can-
Four, not 5. He plays
Yeah.
point guard, shooting guard.
He plays everything, but he's classified as a 3.
But Chris,
What
where
about
do
Dennis-
you stand on it with this situation? Would you think of it more of him having K-Love's back, just being one of his boys? Because we do know they are good friends. Or would you say it's more podcast value? Or do you think he truly believes that? What the hell?
What happened to Chris?
Chris, you there, man?
Bueller.
Oh, I don't think he hears.
I don't think he hears.
I don't think you hear.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Blink, you hear?
I don't think he
Blink-
can.
Blink once if you're okay. Blink twice.
We're gonna go to Doug. Doug just got here. Doug,
Hello.
how's everything going today? You know what's going on. How do you feel about it?
All right, so repeat the question. I know we're talking about Kevin Love.
So basically, JJ Redick just retired. He's got his own podcast. It's a great Ram podcast, by the way. It's an amazing podcast. Hopefully we will get Chris back. I think he's back. But he's back. So basically, he goes out there and he says top 75 list. Every single power forward on there, 99%. There's 1% off. I'm curious who he had off. He's saying Kevin Love is better than. So it's not just Kevin Love should have been on the 75 list. It's he's better than every power forward basically on that list. Do you think that's more podcast value? I truly believe this, or I'm just bored with Kevin Love?
Well, okay, so is Kevin Love better than Kevin Garnett? No. Is Kevin Love better than Dirk Nowitzki? No.
No.
Is Kevin Love better than Tim Duncan? No.
No.
Is Kevin Love better than Karl Malone? No.
No.
Is Kevin Love better than Charles Barkley? No.
No.
And then we can even go further. Is Kevin Love better than Kevin McHale? No.
No.
Is Kevin Love better than LeBron? No.
No.
And the one that I said before was Kevin Love better than Dennis Rodman.
I like that one a lot.
especially as a rebounder, because Dennis Rodman was considered a power forward at 6'7".
Yep.
No. Kevin Love
No.
was a great player, but at the same time, I mean, he's been reduced since he's gone to the Cavaliers. He's gotten reduced as a scorer. He's kind of, I mean,
that's Brown's fault though, not his. To play devil's
No,
advocate.
no. It's actually his. He has a mental issue. He claimed he said he had a mental issue.
He says he has it.
So going from a number one scorer to a third option is hard for people. Chris Bosh said the same thing. When he was in Toronto, when he went to Miami, it was hard being a third option.
Bosh is a better scorer than Kevin Love.
But I just think I just think Brown put you as that third scorer, and then it's hard to dig yourself at that hole.
Right. And you
you have to play the role. A lot of guys have a hard time playing a role in basketball.
But at the same, would you ever take a top? Okay, so we're saying he's supposed to be a top 5 or something player.
We're talking like top 2 because it's the one.
Would he really accept this diminished role? The answer no, because he's not. He was a good player, but I mean we're not talking like we're not putting him on the upper echelon of all time. So
Doug, the big thing that I brought up and you weren't here for it was when you look at how many games he's missed in his career in Cleveland is over 100 now, damn near. Like we're talking a long time that you've missed games, and that diminishes your career.
That's true. That does.
Who played the majority of their careers. You know, we're talking guys who missed 20 games a season. Love's missed the last 2-3 seasons. Like, we're looking at it like that. Like, I understand the concussions. I understand the mental health, and that's definitely something you have to take into consideration when evaluating a guy and his career. But it's also something you have to knock against him respectfully. You have to say you weren't there. You weren't on the court. And as much as you love that guy, you know, you can't have it at the end of the day. But enough with JJ. Enough with that conversation. JJ, love the podcast. Little out of pocket, my boy. Little out of pocket.
One last thing that I have. So I said the exact same thing. I had not said it's on there before, but I had said the exact same thing about the Von Miller trade. The one thing is health matters more important than what you do on the field.
Right.
And you know, I've said this about the Von Miller trade. I think that's the main reason why Denver decided to let Von go is because he hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Right. But here's the problem.
Best ability is availability.
Right, and exactly. But the problem with K-Love is there's a lot of money you got to eat, and Cleveland's not eating it, and K-Love's not healthy enough to be wanting someone to trade for him. So I think that's the biggest problem. But, you know, to end it off, you know, it's the same thing I'll say about me saying Derrick Rose should be on that list. It's something that I want to say, but I know I shouldn't. And I feel like, JJ, as much as you believe that, it's just something you don't say, especially to that degree of 99%. I'm not going to go out there and say Derrick Rose was better than 99% of the point guards on that list. That's just not true. Yeah. And it's for the same reason. Injuries. If they didn't get injured and they didn't have those backsets that he had in Cleveland and that Derrick had towards the end of Chicago and with the Knicks and then with Cleveland and then, you know, with a bunch of other places, it's hard to make that conversation. If we're talking all in their primes, who's on that list? I promise you both of those guys are on that list. But our next topic, it does have –
T-Mac definitely should have been on there.
Hell yeah, he should have been on there.
Oh, yeah.
Next topic. Go ahead. Next topic.
We're not going to go into that.
Yeah, next topic.
Right. That whole list we're just going to leave it at that. But we're talking about health. And Zion Williamson's condition right now, we're looking at it and the potential return. I'm going to start with Doug because Doug just got here. Doug, how do you feel about Zion? What's the situation? We don't even just have to talk about trades, but just the situation as a whole. How are you looking at Zion coming back?
So Zion Williamson is paid as a professional basketball player, and he's also paid to basically work out, take care of your body, and just be a professional athlete. I mean, the fact that he's doing this to himself is hurting his own brand. Now, I get that, you know, there's a rift apparently with Zion, his family, and the New Orleans Pelicans. At the same time, the best thing that Zion Williamson can do for himself is to stay healthy, get on the basketball court, and play. And then you can play your cards, and maybe you can demand a trade or whatnot, but that's beside the point. The fact that Zion Williamson... But, yeah. Zion Williamson, however, you know, showed up wherever to camp or whatever, like 35, 40 pounds overweight, now has a reputation not only of being injury prone, but can this guy stop eating? And I mean, I'm not going to knock somebody. I'm a big guy, but I mean, this guy is getting paid literally to literally take care of himself, work out as a basketball player, and be this NBA star. And right now, he now has a reputation for, can we trust him? And I bet you half the executives are like, maybe we do. Including the Knicks could have loved him last year before all this started. And now I bet the Knicks are like, no, I think we're good as is. He's destroying himself before he can really get his career going, because not only did he miss most of his rookie year with injuries, granted he got to play most of his second year, but now he's missed the last 8-9 games. I mean, the Pelicans need him badly. They're one team. He's destroying his image. He is destroying his image, and he for him to go forward, he's got to show everybody, the Pelicans, all the teams, that he can lose the weight. He can take his career seriously and get back to being the guy that everybody wanted when he was coming out of Duke.
What did Shaq and Charles and Barkley call him the other day? Looked like Shaq and Charles had a baby.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to lose weight in New Orleans though when you have all that gumbo and all that good stuff.
But my thing with that is Doug just said, personal responsibility, but two, I also look at the team. The team is supposed to be there for you as well, and that's not happening either. So between you lacking accountability for yourself and your team not being there for you the way that they should be, it goes hand in hand. And I just think that's the reason why he's in that shape. And now he may lose the season, because if you bring him back too soon, he can re-injure himself again.
I think to be honest, I think that he needs to be traded somewhere that really where he doesn't have that big star.
like a non-big city. Like a non-Chicago,
non-big city.
LA.
Straight to San Antonio.
New Orleans is not a big city.
New Orleans is not a big city, though. That's a small market.
Yeah, New Orleans is a small market.
AD wanted to be a big guy. Like
everywhere you go, though, really. Like everywhere you go, there's always going to be this city, but like at the same time, it goes back to him. Like you can go to New Orleans and like John said, you could eat all the gumbo and the fried foods and whatnot. You send him to Texas, you're going to eat barbecue and whatnot. You send him anywhere, and you're going to find, hell, you can go anywhere in the country. You'll find a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Domino's. Right. It goes back to self accountability. He's doing this to himself. If nobody's telling him to do it because he's a professional and he's an adult and a man, like who's gonna watch him 24 hours a day? No, nobody's gonna do that except yourself. You're a paid professional athlete.
The number one overall pick. You're the face of a franchise. You're supposed to take care of yourself, and he's not doing it. He's gonna run him. He will basically. Here's a name out of the past. Oliver Miller.
I'm about to say that. Yep.
He's gonna turn into Oliver Miller.
Yep.
To a T.
Yep.
I look at it like this. Sean Kemp. He's going to turn to Sean Kemp. Right. And I look at it like Eddie Lacy of the Green Bay Packers. You look at it like that and you understand. Cheeseburger Eddie. Here's the difference, though, with being the number one overall pick. For some casual fans who don't understand, if you're top 20, that's cool. If you're, in the second round, that's cool. You're in the league. But that number one overall pick, the amount of money you got to be able to afford a personal chef, who a lot of these guys do have. Bron has one.
Kyle Kuzma. That was the first thing he bought.
Kyle Kuzma said that. Kyle Kuzma said it clear as day. I grew up eating McDonald's and Snickers. I saw that. That's why I hired a personal chef with his first check. And
honestly, that's the first thing I would hire too.
Right. And you look at it. We'll talk about it right now. Shaq and Shaq being over 7 feet tall, weighed 280. 280, 330 throughout his
330.
Oh, between there, yeah.
As a max, he was 7'2", 330, and
throughout his career, he's about 330, correct? Now,
Zion, 330.
Zion, 6'6", about 6 inches smaller, is only 10 pounds less than you.
I truly don't think he's 6'6". I truly think he's more 6'5", 6'4". I don't think it's a true 6'6".
That makes it worse. I don't think it's a true 6'6". Are you that big, bro? Like, you got people trying to take care of you. And people trying to do this stuff, and I understand some of it you cannot control. A lot of people's metabolisms are different. A lot of things are going on, but be aware of that. Have that conversation.
Now, if you look at him later in his freshman year at Duke, he was physically fit because people were monitoring him every day. When you go to the NBA, it's a little different.
Coach K doesn't like that. They're on.
No, I think just college in general. You see a lot of kids
right
once they leave high school, go to college, they bulk up.
because you think about it too. You think about it like this: you still got to do them classes. So you're at school, and then you're at the gym.
Listen, they don't go to class.
I know, but
they're not going to class. The cheerleaders are doing their homework.
We gotta show up. We just don't gotta do the work. That's the
90% of the players, 90% of the players don't go to class.
Do not go to class.
Actually they go.
Especially Zion. Zion didn't have to go to class. He was one and done.
Like Tim Duncan went.
Like if he could have went to high,
Zion did not.
Right. Tim Duncan went to class.
They're not in school for that. They don't go to school to become sports writers, lawyers, journalists.
Right.
Some of them do.
Last person though we haven't really heard from is Coach Dante. Coach Dante, what do you stand on this?
And Ben Simmons didn't even want to go to class either. When he was with LSU, he didn't want to go to class either. But I agree with everything Doug said, man. Glenn Big Baby Davis, they were paying him to even drop weight as well in Boston. They were paying him to even drop some weight. So that's a huge standard. And anyway, I just think he wants out of the Pelicans off New Orleans. His parents even came out and just said that, so that can probably have a little issue with that. It's not, even if he does decide to come back, that's not going to help New Orleans any goddamn way. That's just what it is. And I just think a change of scenery would be better for Zion Williamson, but you're getting paid for taking care of your body and staying in shape. And there's no reason for you to be that big. You even came out your shoe at Duke. You were so big, you even came out your shoe at Duke. Come on now. You get paid for being conditioning and taking care of your body. So that's my take on it. But I don't think he's helping the Pelicans anyway. If he does decide to come back, I just think he just needs a change somewhere else.
Right.
But what team? I know he's like, hell of a player. But what team is really going to want to get him right now? You see, he's injury prone.
No, you don't want him. I'm telling you.
You see, he's injury prone. He's young right now. If you're young and big, you're just gonna get older and bigger. Like you don't just all of a sudden, change your whole lifestyle.
I'll throw this out there for you, Chris, because I want to see where everybody else in the room stands. Now, in recent years, they've been dog water for centuries, and the lottery has not been nice to them. They banged it with LaMelo Ball. I think at this point in time, you bang 3 to 5 first-round picks and maybe Gordon Hayward, and you bring LaMelo and Zion together and Miles Bridges, you got Kelly Oubre. I think that's a squad right there. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
What about the Celtics?
The Celtics got so many problems.
That's a messy.
They don't even know.
They got so many situation. They got so many issues. They got locker room issues. They got all kind of issues.
What about the Heat?
The
Heat?
They don't got the
money. Really only have 2 issues.
No, they don't.
So if they get rid of one of them, you see with Tatum or Brown, and they're good. But.
Right.
You got a great issue in Miami. I wouldn't do that. You got too many. You got a great thing going on in Miami.
You just got earlier. Victor Oladipo.
I have a team, and it's really, you have to think about it. You need a coach who has the presence, and you need veterans around him who can kind of like push him towards what he's supposed to be doing. It's the Warriors. I mean, if you had Steph and Clay and Draymond with him, and I think if you have somebody like Steve Kerr and Mike Brown too, who's a really good assistant,
right?
I think if you put those guys together around Zion, and if they really like push him, especially if Draymond stays.
Already
got Draymond definitely.
If you put those,
you put it in trade acceptance.
I think
you put the trade analyzer.
NBA 2K2 without a doubt.
I think Draymond alone.
No, you don't even need it. I'm telling you, already got it.
I think those Steve Kerr. I think those guys could really like get on him and make him like actually focus on the bigger picture, which isn't just hey, like we've done this. You need to sacrifice a few things to become the guy that we all expect you to be. I feel like that's the perfect place for him. That's the place
and they got the assets to do it too.
Yeah, you got Wiseman, trade him away.
They got the assets. Yeah, they got the assets to do
it. With
Kaminga.
I
wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it.
Two on the same
Wait,
team.
no.
I think that'd be incredible.
I wouldn't mind it.
Especially
Ben Simmons would have been a Warrior if not for the Sixers asking for an asinine amount of draft picks. Ben Simmons would have already been a Warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
before we get into a whole different
I
conversation,
just think he was
though,
an ideal fit for the Warriors.
no, I do think so too. But this conversation for a different day. In this last topic, Chris and I did. I think we'll take some time, and we probably will go over just a little bit as our final topic of the night. I think it's one of the most interesting. We all sat down, we all had our conversation. Hopefully, we all picked our teams. If not, you could wing it. I don't judge y'all, but it's definitely one of those things where it's a very big what if question, and that's if you look at it. Best constructed team, all of them in their primes. You could go as far as saying the Utah Jazz back in the day, the Lakers when they had their dog squad, but a couple guys like Peyton and Malone all injured, guys like that. You look at it, best team ever assembled if they were all in their prime. I'm going to start off with Chris. Chris, who do you have?
That's tough.
That's toughy.
I said the 04 Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like, Dwight was young then, but if you get prime Dwight Howard,
Right.
prime Tracy McGrady, prime Grant Hill. I mean, man, like those three right there. Grant Hill, injuries stopped him from being the next Jordan.
Right.
Like if you really look back at it in the 90s, Grant Hill was that dude.
Detroit Pistons fan right here. Just saying, yeah.
So what now?
I say I'm a Pistons fan, so I agree with you.
Exactly. Tracy McGrady, that's my all-time favorite player.
Same.
Kobe said he's already the hardest. He's the hardest defender. Once again, injuries derailed his career. I mean, we know what Dwight Howard is. I mean, I'm trying to think who. Let me pull up that squad again because, like, I had everything, but there's just so many people who was on that team.
Rocking with the hat, by the way, Will. I'm rocking with it.
Appreciate it. My kids gave me this hat. Appreciate it.
I'm rocking with it.
Aaron, are you from Detroit?
Yeah, I am.
Oh man,
you live there now?
Yeah.
I'm rocking with Aaron. I'm rocking with
How
Aaron.
you feel about Cade Cunningham? I really like him. I think he has all great.
Give him till January to get his condition.
Mad disrespected right now. I feel like the league's going off on him, and it's way too early.
It's gonna happen because Jalen Green's already popping off.
Hey, Snugs don't look any better though. Snugs don't look any better. It's looking rough right now too.
Yeah, but Green looks good on Houston. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right.
I was about to say that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Green is having deficiency issues right now, but he looks very good, man. That guy's promising. Really, he's very good. He's very promising.
He's a star making it. I think he's gonna catch on really quick.
Will and I got Io out of Chicago, second round pick. We stole somebody there. We stole somebody. Dog.
Oh yeah.
No, the still of the draft was Chris Duarte for the Pacers.
Oh, that's a good point too. That's a good point too.
Chris, you got your list?
Oh yeah, and Steve Francis. I forgot about him being the point guard at that time.
Right. I was about to say
Steve Francis. Right. Yeah,
if you remember the franchise, oh my gosh,
dude.
Him and Allen Iverson was 1 and 2. Boys at that time, breaking ankles, ball handling, right there at that time. Yeah.
Steve Francis was N1 before the N1 videos.
Right. Now I got a list for y'all, and I want to get it out of the way because again,
I got one too.
The monitor got to
I got one. I think I got one.
I'm gonna fly through it really quick. I got the 2017-2018 Cleveland Cavaliers as constructed, not after the trades, as constructed. You looking at LeBron James, all prime players. LeBron James, Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Kevin Love. Let me pull up a couple other guys. Larry Nance. You got Kendrick Perkins was on this squad. People forget Kendrick Perkins was even on the squad. I wouldn't remember that. It was one of those things you don't even remember, bro. You're looking at Dwayne Wade was on this squad.
Yes,
Rondo was on there for like a hot second, but it didn't last that long.
Went back to Miami.
Bro, so J.R. Smith, Shumpert, all these other dogs. You got Green, Clarkson. The list goes on and on. But I think those big three right there is what Chicago wanted to see. It's what Miami wanted to see was Wade, Rose, and Bron for so long. You still got IT out there. You still got Love. Minnesota Love. We're not talking about Cleveland Love. We're talking Minnesota prime Love.
15 rebound a game Love. Yeah.
Right. We're talking like that. I mean, Perk, Jay Crowder in his prime, that 3-point shot. He brings you that 3-point. I think that's definitely my squad. We're gonna go with Will next. Who you got?
95-96 Bulls. You got Jordan averaging over 30. You got Jordan averaging over 30.
They were already in their prime together.
Look. That's my team. That's my team, y'all. Leave me alone. That's my team. That's my team. You had Jordan averaging over 30. You got Scotty coming into his own. You had Dennis Rodman on that squad. Kukoc coming off the bench doing his thing. Ron Harper playing that defense. I'm telling you, man. Shoot.
That
was my team. That was my team.
I'm rocking with your list.
That's my team.
I think you missed the point on this one, Will. But I'm rocking with your list.
That's my team.
I'll let it slide.
I think he just wanted to flex on us right quick. I think he wanted to flex on us. That's all it was.
This is really tough.
We're gonna go with Aaron next though.
All right, so I'm just gonna say the current Los Angeles Lakers roster right now, all in their prime.
I can't.
That's hard to argue.
Oh, we talking about all in their prime. My fault.
He misread the time. Yeah, so you can be prime Melo. Yeah, exactly. You get prime Melo, you get prime Westbrook, prime LeBron, you get prime Ariza. People forget about how good Ariza was in his prime. Who's defender, 3-point shooter.
Right. Yeah,
Dwight Howard prime. You get DeAndre Jordan prime, like Lob City DeAndre Jordan.
Rondo.
DeAndre Jordan? Oh yeah, he is on that squad, isn't he?
DeAndre Jordan starts. He's a starter.
Avery Bradley in his prime.
Started last night.
Yeah.
Right. And you still
all
got
those guys in their prime.
like
he's a starter, but only plays like 8 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team all in their prime. Oh, I forgot Davis. Because Davis is past his prime. He's something wrong with him mentally.
I would say
something wrong with Davis right now.
I hate I would say so. We're gonna go with Jonathan next.
He said something wrong with him.
I'm not picking the easy one. I'm not going with the Lakers because I'm a Laker fan. I'm going with the Phoenix Suns. Give me a prime Charles Barkley, a Devin Booker in his prime.
Jonathan,
no.
That's not what we're doing, bro.
I'm confused.
He doing all time.
Jonathan, basically what it is, you look at any team that was constructed. You know what I mean? Like we're talking like one option I had was
2000 Lakers.
You think?
Yeah, hell yeah.
They won a chip though.
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Doug, how do you feel about it?
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm actually. It kind of goes with your pick, Mike, but I'm gonna go a different year.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 2009, 2010 Cleveland Cavaliers because I have LeBron James and I have Shaquille O'Neal, and I'll take the rest of the role players. Like I have a Mo Williams, I have an Antoine Jameson, so I'll take him when he was like pretty good. Right. I mean, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, he's decent. He could be a backup center. You got Danny Green.
Right.
But I mean, I have LeBron. So like take 2012 LeBron. And I have Shaquille O'Neal.
99, 98.
99, 2000, 2001. Right. All I want is Shaq and LeBron. And I'll take it against the rest of the NBA. Those two would dominate.
Right. And before we go to Nate, Jonathan, just to clarify. All right, so you look at it like this, right? You look at the Warriors as another option that I had in 2018 when they had Boogie Cousins. If Boogie Cousins was in his prime Boogie Cousins, not the Golden State Warriors Boogie. If it was Sacramento Boogie, OKC, KD,
Durant. Yeah.
And then the rest of them just being great as they were, what would that team have done? Looking at
04 Lakers would be a great choice. Yeah, I mean Malone and Payton.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that we brought up.
Oh, okay, I got you guys.
Right.
I got you now.
In their prime.
I got you now.
In their prime, like when Peyton was in Seattle and
yes,
I got you.
On the Lakers.
I got you.
In Utah, I got you.
Right.
Yeah, so then it would be the 2004 Lakers for me then.
I still take 95 Bulls. I still take 95 Bulls.
95 Bulls. 95 Bulls against this Laker team in their prime.
Oh man, that would be a 7-game epic war.
Hey,
I don't think it'd be close.
I'll give it to you because Scotty was hurt. If Scotty wasn't hurt, I wouldn't give it to you. But Scotty was banged up. So if it was prime Scotty, I definitely think you could get that. Nate, we can go with you before we go to Coach Dante. Who would you have?
So I actually have two, and yes, both are before I was born.
That's okay.
Okay, Nate.
Going back to 1997 to 98 Utah Jazz, Karl Malone. I mean, you had John Stockton. Yeah, you have a bunch of guys there, but unfortunately, they weren't able to get the job done when they faced the Chicago Bulls.
Oh yeah, you know how it be. You don't
got that strip.
Wait, you weren't born yet, Nate? How old
Thank
are
you.
you?
I didn't want to comment on that, but
how old are you?
I'm almost 20.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh. Jesus
Make
Christ,
me
you're a
feel
baby.
old, man. You make me feel old. I'm 36.
Hey, dog, I'm 22, Nate. I'm with you, bro. I'm
But
with
still,
you,
I'm
mate.
like,
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
thinking 90. I'm thinking you're gonna say like something like 1980 or 1970.
You know,
but you're like, I'm 13 years
My
old.
second
watching
pick
those
was actually in the
finals.
70s.
Yeah. Me and
Okay.
Doug are around the same age, so I
I'm
think
with I'm
Doug
right there
is
with
a year
y'all.
older than me.
Hey,
And
mentally,
it's
I'm
also a
also
homer pick as well. But this is not NBA. This is ABA.
Okay.
Back when they
Okay.
ABA. Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets when they lost to the New York Nets. David Thompson, Ralph Simpson, averaging like 18. David Thompson averaging 18.9 field goals a game. It was they were a good solid team, way back in the back
they
during
were.
that time. But like
they
with the
were.
Utah Jazz, they weren't able to get the job done.
Right. All right. Coach Dante, before we wrap up the show today, we're actually freaking banging it on
All
time
right.
today. How do you feel about it?
I got two teams. I got Oklahoma City, the year that they made the NBA final. I think that was 2012 or something like that in that range.
Yeah.
Yep.
2012,
Well,
yes.
yep. Serge Ibaka. But the next year, after they lost, they traded James Harden. But you say, I think this is a what if. I believe what if they didn't give up James Harden for $5 million? That's how much that James Harden, they missed out on James
And
Harden
Presti
for
was an
$5
idiot.
million. Yes. And then
He was
they
an
could have
idiot.
amnestied Kendrick Perkins, but they
Well,
decided to keep Ibaka over Harden. I
I would
believe
let
that could have
Ibaka
been
go.
like a dynasty.
I would
Yeah.
let Ibaka
That-
go because you got you another big man.
They would have had a dynasty that year. They would have had a dynasty for years back if you would have kept James Harden. And I'm gonna go with the Houston Rockets when they got Tracy McGrady. The years that they kept losing against the Utah Jazz. But other than that, they got the farthest they got was to the Lakers. Took the Lakers to 7 games. They lost. But y'all meaning McGrady could not stay on the floor at the same time together.
He was
I
They
was
hurt.
could
got
not
some
never
He
issues.
was
stay on the
hurt.
same court ever. They
He
always
finished top
stayed
10
hurt.
for
Yep.
2011 Miami Heat.
Yep. Like
Right.
when McGrady was healthy, Yao Ming was always out. When Yao Ming was out, McGrady was healthy. It was just bad luck. So I'm gonna go take those two teams right there.
That was the problem McGrady had
Good
with Grant
choices.
Hill on the Magic. They played like 10 games together over like
Right.
the years
Yep.
they were together, man. It's crazy.
Without a doubt,
Yep.
bro. It's been a great show today. And listen, I'm gonna end it a little different way. Because here's the thing. When you leave a guy who's never been the moderator, I don't know how to do the fancy commercials and shit. So we're gonna end it like this. I hope y'all have an amazing night. Aaron,
Hey,
it was
Mike,
amazing having you
all jokes
on.
aside, man, you did a great job as a moderator, man.
Hey,
That's why
man.
I really
Man, he
appreciate
did
it.
a great job, man.
Yep, you
He
did
a
it, man.
good
Good job, dude.
Good
Hey,
job,
good
man.
job.
to the shorty I bailed on. The Latina girl I bailed on to go hang out with to go do this show. I'm sorry.
I hope she's watching. I mean, if she's
Call
really
her back.
into it, she should be watching the show.
Call her back.
Hey,
Hey, man,
hey,
show her what you did, dude.
Call her back,
hey,
man.
hey, I'll tell you this. Maybe next year, kid. Maybe next year you catch me on the wave. But with that being said, this is another episode of Fast Break. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. Nate, please take us home because I don't know what I'm doing.
Peace.
Catch y'all next